And this is what Cardon always dreamed.
Yeah.
Cardon always dreamed that a prophet would get up
I never thought it would be Dallin H.
and he'd say, have them babies.
For nearly 100 years, the proportion of households headed by married couples has declined, and so has the birth rate. Are much more positive, but they have also declined.
Dude, if you're the one that he made eye contact with in that conference center when he said, significantly.
You need to go camping with your family. Stop looking at so many screens. Turn off technology.
Grow a
Plant a
garden.
garden. He's saying we should be dragging up the birth rate. We should be holding up the birth rate. Bring the average up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, it's pretty awesome.
I would go home and make 5 more babies now. Just make them now. Hey guys, just a reminder that this episode is brought to you guys by Go and Do Travel, specifically their 2025 Wavemakers LDS Podcaster Cruise. Want to hang out November 15th to 22nd with Greg Madsen, Jacob Hansen, and all the other podcasters in the game. Make sure you use the coupon code WARDRadio10. Now back to the video. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Word Radio. I'm your host, Cardon Ellis. Today I'm joined in the studio by Jonah Barnes, Associate Professor of All Things Apocryphal and author of The Lost Gems of Genesis, as well as by Austin Falter of Falter Media and author of the new children's book, Family, a Rhyming Proclamation for Kids. And speaking of the Family Proclamation, Austin, General Conference had some barn burners.
Barn burners.
I saw a couple of posts going up in Thoughtful Faith while some of these general conference talks are going on where it said, I have a feeling this thread is about to blow up really soon. And I don't know if it was during Rasband or Dallin H. Oaks' talk.
Both, yeah.
But dude, have babies and grow a garden is like the new touch grass.
Yeah.
Like instead of saying touch grass, I think
That's what he said.
on conservative LDX, I think now instead of saying touch grass, they're just going to say have babies and grow a garden.
Yeah.
Play.
Now yours, your name, pointing to the words Council of the 12 Apostles
Skip 30 seconds.
in the title, origin, so we must treat it with the reverence deserving words from God.
Now,
Remember,
just
brothers
so
and
you know,
sisters,
pause for a sec. That's the name of the talk. Words from God.
Family Proclamation, words from God.
Words from God. It's like, jeez.
Yeah.
He's not messing around. Sorry.
That's crazy.
But that's like,
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Family Proclamation, words from God. Boy, I'm like, a cynical person would just like totally shamelessly plug one of our sponsors right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm giving new credence to the silly little live, laugh, love plaques that people see on the side of the wall and like the blown up proclamation of the families. You know what I'm saying? Now I kind of feel bad for having made fun of those for a while. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like words from God. It's like, whoa, hardcore, dude. All right. Okay, hit it.
As I said in a previous general conference from this very pulpit, words matter. Let me give you some background about the proclamation as a core message of what we believe. In 1994, a year before the proclamation was presented, the Quorum of the 12 Apostles discussed how society and governments were pulling away from God's laws of family, marriage, and gender. But that was not the end of what we saw, President Russell M. Nelson later explained. We could see the efforts of various communities to do away with all standards and limitations on sexual activity. We saw the confusion of genders. We could see it all coming.
in 95.
Okay, and I was going to say,
In 95.
when he says we, he wasn't called in 1995.
No, he's quoting, he's now quoting President Nelson.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
But 95? Look at
Well, 94 is when they met.
94.
A year before is when he's talking about they met.
now, like looking back at that, it's like, oh, my sweet summer child.
Wow.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. Yeah.
Mhm.
Back then, I mean, jeez. It was like, these kids are listening to rock and roll on the MTG. I didn't. We didn't. We thought, come on.
Yeah, when this
What?
came out, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, thanks for the nothing burger.
Yeah, so hip hop. Hip hop has got a new spot on VH1.
Yeah.
What are you worried about? Come on. But they saw it. They saw it. It's really amazing.
Okay. Oh, do we keep going with this one?
Yeah.
The 12 determined to prepare a document, an official proclamation, summarizing the church's position on family. During that year, these apostles, seers called of God, prepared a declaration about the family. President Dallin H. Oaks recalled they prayerfully turned to the Lord for what they should say and how they should say it. They presented the first presidency, the proclamation. Presidents Howard W. Hunter, Gordon B. Hinckley, and Thomas S. Monson.
Oh, yeah.
Their
You
consideration.
see how he's hammering this?
Just months later, in March 1995, President Hunter passed away, and President Hinckley became the 15th president of the church.
Okay.
So he's name dropping. He's telling the story. He's like, this was not a sudden thing. This was not just one idea from some 70. He's like, no, this was a lot of people touched this. A lot of people were prayerful. It was we were fasting and praying. We're trying to get the Lord's guidance, and he's taking all this time to just tell you about the people involved in the process of it, just to give a provenance to the document. He's not messing around.
Okay. Yeah, this is hardcore.
Church. The proclamation was now in his hands. When would be the right time to make this declaration to the church? That time came 6 months later. Days before the September 23rd General Women's Meeting that preceded General Conference, President Hinckley and his counselors met in council with the Relief Society General Presidency. The sisters, like the apostles, had been weighing concerns about women and families. They had focused the upcoming meeting on families. President Hinckley was scheduled to address the women at the gathering. He had been pondering the direction of his remarks. As the discussion progressed, he referred by name to the newly created, but not yet public, the family, a proclamation to the world. Was this women's meeting the right setting to make the decisive declaration about family?
Okay, pause there.
Okay.
General
Okay, so I've heard this critique.
Yes.
The people say, just in some like women's conference, just the real sacred. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't an official declaration. It was like in some like women's conference. Have you heard this?
Yeah, but you don't. There was a concern. Remember, Russell and Nelson said, if we lose the moral rectitude of women,
Yeah,
then it's over.
it's over.
Okay, so keep going.
So TikTok, he said. So they download TikTok.
Yeah.
It's over. It's time, guys.
Okay. So what better place to present it than a women's conference, right? Okay, he continues.
the decisive declaration about family. General Relief Society President Elaine Jack later explained, "We didn't know what the proclamation on the family was at the time. We could tell by the title, but we felt anything on the family would be a positive thing. It felt very positive that we had members of the Quorum of the 12 that were receiving revelation." The Relief Society meeting that Saturday was historic.
No.
President Hinckley introduced
Yeah, pause.
No, I was just amen.
the family
Amen.
proclamation with these important words.
There it is.
With so much sophistry that is passed off as truth, with so much of deception concerning standards and values, with so much of allurement and enticement to take on the slow stain of the world, we have felt to warn and forewarn of standards, doctrines, and practices relative to the family which the prophets, seers, and revelators of this church have repeatedly stated throughout its history. He then read the proclamation in its
Wait,
entirety.
no.
Well,
One more.
As the Lord has said, whether by mine own voice or by the voice of my servants, it is the same.
There. That's the
The
flourish.
proclamation.
Okay.
So Hinckley reads this whole thing, and then the last thing he says, whether by mine own voice or the voice of my servants, it is the same. And then Gordon B. Hinckley actually breaks the microphone because he picks it up
yeah.
and he walks off the stage. So he gives this whole, that's a long
Oh,
time.
he's good. That was half his talk. That was half his talk. He's telling the story.
Because people have levied this at the Family Proclamation. They've been like, it's just like something that, stop it. When literally the prophet stands up and says, whether by mine own voice, Oaks is getting old, man.
Oh, man.
Make it 139, make it section 139, baby. Come on. That's what I was hoping this talk was going to be.
Okay, so are you going back to
Temples now in the very earliest phases of planning and construction.
Oh boy. Do another minute.
It is a commandment for his children to multiply and replenish the earth
Look at that.
remains in force. And we further declare that God has commanded that the sacred powers of procreation are to be employed only between man and woman lawfully wedded as husband and wife.
And this is what Cardon always dreamed.
Yeah.
Cardon always dreamed that a prophet would get up
I never thought it would be Dallin H.
and he'd say, have them babies.
Dude, my exact quote was, "I'll know that we've got a based prophet back in charge." So when he says, "In the name of God, I command you to have more children,"
Did it.
and
Day one.
didn't quite go so far as to say "in the name of God," but I guess that's in full if you're an apostle, and he did. Hey guys, we're going to press pause just for 1 second to remind you guys this episode is also sponsored by scripturenotes.com, the coolest way of reading your scriptures online. If you guys want a free 14-day trial, please visit scripturenotes.com. Also, mention us in the checkout for a small discount. Links will be in the description. Roll tape. It's better than I thought I'd ever get.
Okay, now
It's
he goes,
better than I thought I'd ever
he
get.
goes on. I don't know if we have time to kind of listen, but he goes on and he says,
We'll skip. I mean, you've got the highlight.
I got the text here.
Okay,
So
tell me the
He
text.
says, so right after that,
Well, here we go.
or you can play, well, go another minute.
Elder Russell,
Okay, another minute, right?
preparation in marriage and childbearing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
For nearly 100 years, the proportion of households headed by married couples has declined, and so has the birth rate. The marriages and birth rates
It's everything Jonah.
of church members are much more positive, but they have also declined
And he looks up.
significantly.
He looks up.
Significantly.
It is vital that Latter-day Saints do not lose their understanding of the purpose of marriage and the value of children. That is the future for which we strive.
Boom. It's everything you would have wanted. It's everything you would have.
Birth rate? He just straight up grabs the bull by the horns. The birth rate's declining. And he looks up.
He's like, wow.
I know there's teleprompters there, but I don't think he was looking at anybody in a teleprompter. If he made eye contact with somebody there, dude, if you're the one that he made eye contact with in that conference center when he said significantly, I would go home and make 5 more babies now. Just make them now.
So okay, so now skip just 5 more seconds, and then go.
Okay, so here we go. Just literally 5 more seconds. Go.
President Nelson has taught us,
Okay.
quote, only through the saving ordinances of the gospel of Jesus Christ can families be exalted.
Now here's the money. I love this.
End of quote. The national declines in marriage and childbearing are understandable for historic reasons, but Latter-day Saint values and practices should improve, not follow those trends.
Gorgeous.
Should he?
Gorgeous. 70 years ago,
Then he goes into
lived on my grandparents' farm.
then he goes into a huge story about his own father dying. But so
He said we're supposed to be the salt that giveth the plate its savor,
yeah,
not the salt that, just disappears into the food and doesn't do anything and just behaves exactly like the food.
he's saying we should be dragging up the birth rate. We should be holding up the birth rate. Bring the average up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, it's pretty awesome. Pretty based.
Wow.
Pretty based.
This was epic.
So then he goes on, and the talk's quite long, but this talk is stuck in my brain like a worm, brother. This talk, I can't.
What's that mean? You already got 6 kids, bro.
Excited
I
for
can't,
number.
I can't get through this talk. My wife and I are both like, oh my gosh, the Oaks talk. We'll be lying in bed and we're like,
You
Nope,
gonna do it,
stop.
bro? You gonna do it, bro? You gonna do it, bro?
well, it's not just that. But he says, you need to go camping with your family. Stop looking at so many screens. Turn off technology. Plant a garden, he says.
Do sports. Learn a language.
Yeah.
Like, it was packed.
It was awesome. Oh, he also, you dig this, dude. You dig this.
Okay.
He also says, he tells a story about his father dying.
I'll be
Remember
honest.
this?
Yes. So this part, was this on Saturday? Or was this on Sunday?
Sunday, last talk on Sunday.
This was last talk on Sunday. Yes, I remember watching this through the first time, but I do remember that there was something else going on in the house, so I was trying to do 2 things at once. I got parts of this talk, and I remember there was just a touching part, and I remember seeing him cry like his grandfather decided to be his father or something.
Yes. So he says, there's this tragedy. He says, families should be economic productivity, not consuming.
Yeah.
You
We
shouldn't
used to be on farms working together. We don't have that anymore. Now we're just consumers as a family.
We consume together instead of produced.
Yeah. He says, so when my father dies, I'm weeping on my bed. My grandfather comes in and he says, I will be your father. Then he says, that tender promise is a powerful example of what grandparents can do to fill in the gaps when families lose or are missing a member. Parents, single or married, and others like grandparents who fill that role are master teachers. They're most effective, whatever. So he's talking to a lot of these grandparents who buy their Winnebagos and they get a winter home in Mesa. And he's like, why do you think you're off the hook? Why do you think you're off the hook? You're not off the hook.
Do you know
So
the
good.
number of people that just, it's been impossible to get somebody over the age of 50 years old to like do a calling or anything like that in my state, because for so long they were on a 5-year plan to leave California. In the 5 years before COVID, I'd go up to so many guys where I'd just say, hey, dude, okay, so we're planning this really cool trip next summer. We're going to need people. This and be like, oh, well, that sounds great, Carmen. You should tell me about it when I move to Oregon when there's no income tax.
Dude, I've heard this.
Dude,
Yes.
and that just, dude, the boomer members were just checked out.
I heard this.
5 years before COVID. Then during COVID, if they were on a 7-year plan, that quickly became a 5-year plan, and they were just gone, right? And that, like, so for me, I'm like, checked out boomers getting called to stop just like living the yacht life and like go serve an old fogey mission or something, like go be helpful. That was like home run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Home run.
Yeah. You know what you could do if you're looking for ideas? Take your family history, put it into digestible stories for your kids, and use it as a way to teach values to your grandchildren.
Also in the talk.
And
Also
do that.
in the
And
talk.
it's also in the talk.
And he says have family reunions,
Yep.
honoring ancestors that end in like a temple trip or something. Then he says, so it's like, hey man, we have a family reunion surrounded on honoring an ancestor.
So the part about this talk that really hit me hardest wasn't any particular thing that he said. It was how he said it. I didn't even feel like he was speaking as the prophet. It was like listening to a man who has 90 years of experience in life, has done amazing things. I could live 100 lifetimes and never do all the stuff Dallin H has accomplished. And he was just an old man talking to me. And he's just saying, let me tell you how it could be, how some families have done it, and learn what you can from us, please. and just laying out these, and it's just stuck in my brain, man. My wife and I are like, okay, we got to do a garden. When are we going to go camping? Okay, we gotta
Yeah.
it's just, they all go away. It's lodged in my brain.
I'm glad that he finally put the high in high demand religion.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so good. It's such a great talk. I hope he stays with us for a long time, because I just wanted to sit and just learn from him. His life experience.
Well, he's the one that wrote the book Carthage Conspiracy that first documented the.
He did. You're right.
That was in the 70s. Think about it. In the 70s, he was like a first-class historian of the church in the 70s before you were born.
He's done a lot of good stuff on Martin Harris too, because he's a descendant of Martin Harris. So he's written and spoken a lot on witnesses and Martin Harris. It's been awesome.
He served amazingly his entire life. And when the guy like that, who was it? Was it your Holland's talk? Where Holland's always good for a bang talk.
Yeah.
When he said, well, I forget how he said it. He's like, people are really looking to young influencers for their advice. And he's like, and they think their opinions really count. That's fine. I kind of think my opinion should kind of count too. Did you?
Yeah.
It's like, I've been around the block. Maybe could I be so presumptuous as to say that my opinion might be worth something?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when he says it like that, you're like, oh, crap. Okay, I'll go back and study every talk.
I'll stop listening to Hank Smith and I'll start taking you more seriously. Sorry, John, by the way.
I'll turn off Ford radio and go study your talks. But
I don't know if they call us influencers, pariahs, in a correct term, right?
I was so good, though. But, man, that Oaks talk's beautiful.
Get behind you, top left. See if you can't find the Proclamation of the Family that got shipped to us by Tiny 3D Temples. It's above you, top, very top, left. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah. So those are the big, or I think those are the small ones. There's either Articles of Faith or there's a Family of Proclamation of the World. Yeah, dude.
This is not just hang on your wall and forget it. This is gorgeous.
That's
dude.
actually awesome.
Yeah, these things are freaking huge.
Art.
We got a new sponsor in town. This is, dude, what perfect timing to have Rasband do a Family Proclamation talk. And then now all of, whether it's the Restoration, whether it's the Articles of Faith.
Christ.
Yeah, Tiny 3D Temples actually makes these super cool, like 3D printed woodcuts. I mean, it's so big, I can barely even show it on screen. But we're actually going to have a coupon code. Check out the coupon code in the description, because you're going to be able to go to their website. I'm actually just show you right here. And, I mean, they really are tiny 3D temples. They do actually have legitimate tiny 3D temples, but the wall decor is actually what my favorite thing is. And some of these Proclamation of the Family, the 4-piece frame set, which got the Proclamation, the Living Christ, the Restoration, the Articles of Faith, is just amazing. And I want to make sure you guys get a chance to get your own if you dig it, if you feel like you've been lacking in your enthusiasm of the Proclamation of the Family. Let me tell you, if Dallin H. Oaks and Rasband didn't just give it to you.
Now I got to do it. Now I'm like, oh my.
Jerusalem artichokes, bro. They're indestructible. They're indestructible, and you can harvest them whenever you need them, bro. Jerusalem artichokes.
I live in a desert.
All right, I got to get a woodcut of the Family Proclamation. I got to get Austin's family book, and I got to get Jerusalem artichokes.
Yep.
Okay.
Or Elder Rasband will be angry with you. That's what we could. When we go to pick up our big checks from the church that we're those
big checks, right?
Then we'll just have to make sure we get an attaboy.
Yeah.
Right from that guy, because we don't have to struggle to get our own sponsors. So anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys are listening on Spotify or on YouTube, or if you're on the radio, you can check us out at wardradio.com. If you want to contribute to our channel, please make sure that you guys check out our Amazon wish list. And big shout out for the Discord, Jonah. You're one of the moderators on the Discord. Tell them about the Discord and how they can have a lot of fun there.
Yes, Discord. It's a place where it's a online group where everybody can get together and talk about the gospel kind of safely. It's really interesting. It's got Word Radio people on there, so it's always exciting. If you go to wardradio.com, in the upper right corner, there's a little icon that looks like almost like a game controller with a smiley face.
Yeah, right there. Boom.
It's all like a Batman mask almost type of deal. Click on that guy. You can join Discord. We have channels there, everything from how to do digital missionary work, to stories of people getting their mission calls, to conversion stories, to how did the channel help you, reactions to our episodes, Quaku's Corner, which is crazy. We have AI art. We have memes that we share. We have everything. There's over 3,000 people on the Discord. It's a great place to congregate for members of the church. It is not your grandma's. It is not your grandfather's elders quorum. It's fun, and we have
Ain't your
wonderful
grandpa's house.
and we have wonderful moderators on there who keep it clean. Most online chat rooms, things you talk about the church, you get trolls everywhere. We do not, because we have mods that they lay down the hammer.
They're
Everybody
hardcore.
messes
They're
around.
very helpful, and we're so grateful for every last one of them. Also, if you want to support the channel, we got some more War in Heaven veteran hats coming in studio. You guys had a chance to see where they were manufactured. What did you think?
That's right. There's just a room filled with all these little tiny Vietnamese
Bloody
kids.
fingers,
11-year-old, with these tiny little,
threatening to take away their families' visas.
Yep. It was beautiful.
No meat until you get your 5,000th hat today.
It was great. Hi, Delaney. How you
Talk
doing?
about
Hey,
producing. Talk about producing as a family.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. All right. We're going to end it there. We're starting to get into child trafficking, and, familial abuse and human trafficking jokes. It's late. We put the midnight in Midnight Mormons right there, bro. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And for this and more, please check us out at wardradio.com.